It's yet another time for Business Now, right here on Zodiac. My name is Alex Banda. In this edition of Business Now, we have an exclusive. Today, we are speaking to one of the renowned investors in the country, and of course, entrepreneur Benedicto Bena Nkhoma, fondly known as BBN. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
For our viewer, maybe would like to get to understand who is Benedicto Bena Nkhoma, the investor and of course the entrepreneur.
So Bena Nkhoma, as I'm popularly known, is a Malawian, born in Banda, born and bred in Banda. Grew up studying at Namonde Primary School, St. Pius, then went to St. Patrick's, Polytechnic, and started work with NBS Bank. Previously, it was the New Building Society. I did my Bachelor's of Accountancy degree. I'm a chartered management accountant. I've got 2 MBAs, one in finance and the other one in general management, but I'm also a chartered banker and a risk specialist from the UK. I rose through the ranks at the bank as a management trainee up to the time I was retiring after 29 years of service as a Chief Treasury and Global Markets Officer for NBS Bank, yes.
Quite a huge packed CV there.
Not really, not really.
Now, let's get back to the business. You are of the view that young people in the country can leverage on despite the challenges, the current economic turbulences, young people can still leverage on the situation and of course do business and invest. But the question is how, and we are talking about young people whose earnings are not all that good, so to speak.
So for me, I think it's really an issue of a mindset. Young people can invest. It's the limiting belief system that we have that young people think they're still young and they probably will invest at a later stage. But it also depends where you're coming from because our culture hasn't been a savings culture. So, but young people are getting money, they are earning money. It's either they are doing photography, they are managing digital platforms for people. The little money they are earning, even if it's 20,000, 50,000, they can start to invest. They start to put aside, invest in shares, invest on the money markets. So they can start to invest, even in this current environment. Yes.
Talk of money markets. How would you help to those that are watching to understand what a money market is? Money, you already have money. Why would you want to put money on the market? Help us understand.
So the reason I'm saying money markets is that firstly, money market is basically a deposit in a bank or indeed by buying treasury bills or treasury notes, which are issued almost every week. The people can invest from a small amount. And so the reason is that the currency usually loses, another currency, it loses money, it loses value over time.
Yes.
So you're really trying to preserve the value. So why should you invest in the money market? In case you need that money anytime, within 90 days or within 182 days or within 365 days. And the good thing is you've got discount houses and asset managers that can even keep that money for 1 month. So you can invest it for 1 month as well. Yes.
You are also known as an investor, a well-known investor. I would like to get a grasp. How long have you been on the stock market? How long have you been investing on the stock market?
So maybe not a well-known investor, but maybe
we do know you.
So, yes. But I started investing some 22 years ago when the government was issuing, was actually privatizing. So we started with National Bank, NBS, and then the others started coming in like FCB, then all those NITL. So we started investing that time. And it wasn't a lot of money, but we were able to make good money. The good thing is that investment takes time. So you wait over time. If you start at a tender age, over time, it actually it actually grows. I'll give you an example. National Bank, the time people were buying, it was 3 kwacha, it moved to 10 kwacha, and people were saying, you know what, nobody can buy 10 in National Bank now shares. It's at 10 kwacha, it's too much. But look at it now, it's at 2,507 per share. So I always tell people, I mean, I bought shares for my son, 30,000 shares, 2017. And it was 30,000 shares, 6 kwacha, it was 180,000 kwacha. It's now 3,027,000 kwacha. So even if you take into account inflation, even if you had used a dollar rate, it's still a better investment. It has actually sustained the value and even more. Yes, and there's been dividends. So can you imagine if you had bought those shares, 30,000, and you continue to buy on a regular basis, maybe 20,000, 50,000 every month, 20,000, and then when he gets the dividends, he continue to buy. By now, I'm sure it should have been around 20 million kwacha.
There is a perception out there that investing on a stock market is for the elite. Investing on the stock market is for the older demographics, older people that are well-to-do. Can an ordinary Malawian buy shares, invest on the bourse?
I'll tell you what, I started investing, and I'm still an ordinary Malawian. I started investing when I was still young, when I was in my early 20s. And I was just an officer at the bank. And I was buying small amounts of shares. And this notion that shares and the stock market is for the elite is just there. But the truth of the matter is, with 10,000 kwacha, you can buy shares. With 20,000 kwacha, you can buy shares. So I don't think 20,000 kwacha is for the elite. Because shares, I'll give an example, Mpiko is at 14 kwacha. NBS is at 109 kwacha. Airtel is at 50 kwacha. 50 kwacha, 50 tamba, or thereabout. TNM is at 12 kwacha. 12 kwacha per share. So what's 12 kwacha? Even 10,000, who can actually say, I've got 10,000, I'm losing money? You're not losing money by investing 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 kwacha. Yes.
I also would like to understand how young people now can get on the market. How can one, what is the process on getting yourself involved in buying shares on the stock market?
So maybe just for people to appreciate, when one is buying shares on the stock market, they are buying a portion of a company. So there are several companies on the stock market. Now, for one to buy, you can buy using stockbrokers. It's a highly regulated environment. So they will not lose money. It's not like they're going to lose money. It's highly regulated by the Reserve Bank of Malawi. So they'll buy through a broker, and those brokers are certified by the Reserve Bank. So they'll go to a broker. We've got Cedar Capital, we've got Stockbrokers Malawi Limited, we've got Continental Capital. So they can just go there. They can walk in there. They are on the website. They can check the Malawi Stock Exchange website, and then they call them, and then they'll open an account for them. They'll do the normal account opening for them, and then they'll start to invest. And it will take them probably a day or two to do that.
But again, when you're going there, it's not just you're going willy-nilly. There are a lot of companies on the bourse. 60 now?
Yes.
How do you analyze the investment opportunity? How do you know that this company is doing well? Let's invest our money there. Let's buy shares with that company. And I'm trying to look at the performance of the stock market. This first quarter, maybe because they haven't tabulated yet, but the performance hasn't been all that well. But looking at the past 3 years, the performance has been good. If we look at the first quarters from 2021, so to speak.
Yeah, so for me, I think what people need to understand is that investing in the stock market is a long-term, medium to long-term journey. I started 20 years ago. For them, the first time you go to the broker, you are not so sure which counter to really invest in. And the brokers are usually trained people, and they'll tell you, They know that this one is new, and they'll tell you maybe you should start with this, and they'll ask you what are your investment strategy? What is it that you really want to achieve? If you go to an asset manager, they can actually even manage for you, and they'll tell you. You can even get that information for free from asset managers like Nico Asset Managers, Continental Asset Managers. You go there, they'll tell you, if you start investing in this, how much do you have? You say 10,000. They say, okay, for how long? For say 5 years or 10 years, or indeed 3 years. Then they'll say, maybe invest in this. Or indeed they'll say, if it's just 1 year, then maybe you shouldn't invest in shares. So they'll give you expert advice. They may not get all the information because they may not have all that information. But looking at the trend, they should be able to. As you're already putting it, the stock market, I think, has done about, the mass has grown by 2% these 3 months. But as the companies start to release their results and they start to release their half-year profit warnings, this is going to move. And I've seen the growth in my own personal life, shares moving from as low as 10 kwacha to as high as 100 kwacha. Yes.
Now, that's on the stock market, but
Yes.
You are also of the view that young people can venture into other businesses.
Yeah.
You are getting 100,000 kwacha a month. How do you juggle around managing that money to take care for your daily needs and then take a portion of to invest, given the inflation rate at the current moment?
I tell you what, to be realistic, if you're staying here in Banda, probably 100,000 is not a lot of money. You probably barely survive. But the truth of the matter is that people have, they go to work for 8 hours. When I was young, I used to be an MC. I did that for probably 1,000 times. And I was getting money on Fridays, Saturdays maybe twice during the day and in the evening, and on Sundays after church, I would do MCing. You can do some side hustles over the weekend. And for me, I think that's where we're missing it. And now with the digital era, now they can do a lot of things, probably do it for other people. Some people are hosting pages, and they're doing advertisement on their pages. What they need is just to be more creative and start to do side hustles and make more money. I always tell people to have several streams of income, not just one, so they can start to do other things, do farming, and do a bit of other things that are there, the other opportunities that are there in the market.
Now, the country has its own strategies. Now, the current administration is focusing on the ATM strategy, agriculture, tourism, and mining. How can we penetrate that as young people if we want to invest, if we want to go into business?
So the 2063 agenda is key, and the young people should start to familiarize themselves.
They are in large numbers.
They are in large numbers. The median age for Malawi is 17.7. It's actually lower than the median age for Africa, which is above 18 years old. What it means is that we've got a young generation that is coming up.
Manpower itself.
Manpower itself. What we need is to get involved. Recently there was a tourism month where they were running some shows, and then we had the Agriculture Investment Forum. Recently, just yesterday, there's a mining investment forum which is taking place in Nilongwe. We should get involved. Let's not just be happy on Facebook attending those showers. Trivia. Let's not waste our time in trivia. Let's understand, what does that mean to me? How can I really get involved? And let's really get involved. Let's not just talk about it, but let's get involved, because these things are happening. As I'm talking now, there's some people that are making money while we are only talking. So the young people should now get involved. They're in majority. So for me, that would be my message to young people, to really get involved and to read more. Because you know what? Most of this is in information. Getting information, how are they doing it here? How are they doing it in Zimbabwe? How are they doing it in Tanzania? How are they doing it in Rwanda, in South Africa? How are the young people doing it? Now, all information is out there. You can actually get it.
We have discussed several issues from the stock market
Yes.
to different investment options that are there. But I would like to know from you, in the next few years, the population is growing, young people are in majority, the Malawi 2063 development blueprint is evolving around this young population. What are our options if we have to go into investment or any business ventures, so to speak?
So I think key for me is one should understand their strengths. What is it that I know, or indeed what kind of information that I need to get where I want to go, have a vision. And then the second thing is to look at those opportunities. There's been talk about mega farms. I think for me it's an opportunity, even for churches, communities, to mobilize themselves and start to do farming together as cooperatives. It's already happening. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You'll not be the first one. So you can start farming. Key is that one should have a long-term view. Should see that, you know what, I may not make money now, but I will need to put in the hard work, because for you to get a return on investment, you really need to put in the hard work. So that's an opportunity for me. And the other opportunity is indeed in mining. Mining is still in its infancy. It's been happening. I know there are artisans of mining elsewhere. People should take interest and get involved and get together and start to do mining.
But I was, where you're sitting, there was the PPPC CEO, Mr. Kabambe, who did say that the mining venture is a good option, of course, but with the current investment in power in the country, the power that we generate as a country cannot meet the high-scale or large-scale mining industry. That's a concern as well for you?
It is a concern, but I think there's still opportunities because people are still mining, whether they're using gensets, but they're still mining. That opportunity is still there if we're looking at 2063. And there's investment on the stock market as well. These are opportunities in the medium term for people to invest. And then there's the service industry, the tourism. It's a big opportunity for people to look at. And then people can start to invest in tourism as well. So for me, these are huge opportunities for people to look at.
Tourism after COVID-19 seemed a bit rather a rough patch to go through again into investment, but we are seeing the money picking up. The resources that we have raked in, about over 100 billion now. Is it still a viable venture given how the challenges that we're facing, the risks, the disasters, the pandemics?
You know what? Human beings have gone through pandemics for the longest time. It's just that now we get information. Information is at our fingertips. So you hear what's happening in Tanzania. You immediately see the floods. When you see the floods here in Malawi, you think it's just in Malawi. Or indeed El Nino, you think it's just in Malawi, but you realize that Zambia, Zimbabwe, you get that information immediately. Pandemics have been part of life. Malaria used to be a serious pandemic. HIV used to be a serious pandemic in the 1990s. Now it's been contained. So for me, people should not really focus on the pandemic because those give people some limiting belief systems. And they say, you know what? They become paralyzed. You know, I can't do anything. There's nothing that you do in this world, in this life, that doesn't have risks. Even just you being here is a risk. Just going through town, it's a risk on its own. Just traveling at night, it's a risk. So risks are always there. Key is just to know how to mitigate, get more information on how these businesses are run, and then you go for it. The higher the risk, they say the higher the return.
The returns, yes.
Yes.
And of course, how can we leverage on the technology? Technology is now booming to our investments, to our businesses.
We can leverage on technology because you don't have to go to USA to understand anything. You can go on YouTube and you learn. So we can leverage on getting knowledge using technology. Even just to put up something, if you buy, say, a camera. Even if you don't have the manual, the user manual, you just go on YouTube and you get that information for any camera. People have done it. When I was sending my kid to university in London, all I needed to do was to go on YouTube. Where can I get accommodation for him? And then you get reviews on YouTube, and you get that information right there and then. You can also multitask with information. While I'm talking to you or while I'm working here, I'll be able to talk to someone who is in the US, and nobody will get distracted. And that's why technology is. We can multitask using technology.
On the short term, and of course, I would also want you to highlight some of the common mistakes an investor can make, or an individual can make in trying to venture into a business or any investment, either be it on the stock market or elsewhere.
What I've realized most of the times is people sometimes get excited with things they don't understand. I'll give an example. There was a time soya was doing very well. And everybody wanted to get into soya, even those that didn't know soya. Or indeed, they'll start to invest, they want to rear goats when they don't know how to rear goats, and then they lose all that investment. So getting knowledge about an investment that you're getting yourself into is very important. The other thing is collaboration. Sometimes as Malawians, we want to do things on our own.
Yes.
Why don't we collaborate and learn from others that have done it before, or those that have certain skills? You may be good at sales, or you may be good at this in this area, but you probably need an accountant, or you probably need a lawyer. So sometimes we draw contracts we don't understand. Why don't you engage a lawyer so that they can help you? So some of the common mistakes that people have made is they haven't leveraged on collaboration. They wanted to do things on their own, or indeed because they succeeded in one thing in a certain year, and they think they are going to continue doing the same thing. Some of them is because I think they still want to cling on to what they used to do in the past. So say you used to do tobacco, and tobacco is not doing well. Instead of moving on to something different, or indeed then you still want to do the same thing. Like this year they talked about El Nino. We knew it was coming. So instead of doing it in line with what they've said, probably by keeping our ridges apart and keeping some water in the canals, we could have probably harvested more. But we did the same things that we do even when we have normal rains. Or indeed, why don't you get into irrigation? So those are some of the things that people should start to be agile and move on whenever times are changing.
I would like to get from you now, what are some of the successful or memorable investment ventures that you've been in that you can be able to share with us?
So for me, I'm a finance person as a banker. So, and my investments I started in the stock market. And then we used to get some loans from government when they were privatizing. And I think one of the memorable investment is when we bought some shares, NBS shares. It was about, I think it was about 30 million shares. We borrowed all that money. It was a 10 kwacha, but the price on the market was 12 kwacha. So we got a bit of two kwachas equity. And then we are only using our salary and also if I was going to get a bonus to pay off over time. And it was, I think, some 2019. Since 2019 to date, that share has moved from 10 kwacha to 109 kwacha. It had moved to 130 kwacha. And the dividends now we're going to get 4 kwacha 54 on an investment that I'd put up about 10 kwacha. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's one of the successes.
So that was one of the successes. And the others, I've had a lot of other successes, but that's one of the major successes. The other one is just a piece of land where I bought a piece of land. I bought it for, then it was 7 million. That piece of land, people are now interested to buy it for about 200 million kwacha.
Wow.
I've just put up a foundation. That's all. Yeah.
Lastly, I would like to seek some advice from you to those that are trying to venture into a successful portfolio on a stock market or any other business venture as we conclude our discussion this evening?
For me, I would like to encourage people to get more information. I listen to probably 10 to 15 YouTubes every day. On investments, I still do that. I read the on financial matters. I do engage people that are managing assets, big assets, like Nico asset managers. I do engage continental asset managers. I talk to them on a regular basis, maybe on a weekly basis, just to get a feel of what's going on in the market. So people can do that, and those people are open to talk to them. Old Mutual, they'll be more than happy to talk to you. And all you do is, this is where I am. And that's what I did as well. This is where I am. This is what I have. I've got this small house. I've got this 2 million kwacha, and I'm expecting this. What is it that we can package here? And they'll do that. They are experts in those areas. Yes.
That's Benedicto Bena Nkhoma, an entrepreneur and, of course, an investor, ending our exclusive in business now today. My name is Alex Banda. Until next time, it's goodbye.